Hey everyone, Evan Kirstel here with another great discussion on CX with Celia from Verint. How are you?
I'm great, Evan. Thank you for having me. Excited to talk with you today.
Yeah, excited to talk with you. And I follow Verint very closely as a leader in our space of contact center and customer experience. How are you doing?
Doing well. I mean, it's busy with the holidays approaching, but the company itself, we've had a great year and as you know, better than most. Like CX is so important right now, top of mind for execs. So it's a great space to be in.
Top of mind indeed. And, one of the hot topics through the pandemic and beyond. For those few people who might not know who Verint is, maybe a quick introduction is in order. How would you
Absolutely.
describe Verint these days?
Verint is the customer engagement company. That's the short answer. And what that means is we work with more than 10,000 customers around the world to help them better communicate and engage with their customers and provide a better customer experience for them, for their consumers. And so typically, if you think of, we've got more than 85 of the Fortune 100, a lot of financial services, retail, insurance, that we're working with, and if you are talking to them as a consumer, think about if you're talking to your credit card company, you might be chatting with them on the website, you might be calling their contact center, you might be interacting with them in a bank. We're the technology that's helping that go better and then helping them measure what you thought of that experience.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought Verint does. So,
Yeah.
you've been in this industry for a while. The voice of the customer is really paramount now. People are really paying attention. Is this a trend that you think will last? What say you beyond the pandemic excitement? I guess there's no going back once you start listening to your customer.
Exactly what I was going to say. There's no going back. And I think that's a great thing for both the consumer and the customers that we work with. As we've seen things change, and the pandemic accelerated a lot of it, but they can talk with you on any channel. There are so many ways they can engage with you, and there are ways that they can go to your competitor. And so you want to make sure you're listening to that customer, that you understand what they're thinking, sometimes even anticipating what they need. It's just really important today. And I think it's only becoming more important as we move forward.
Absolutely. And I consider myself a big social listener, a social media fanatic. So I'm always out there listening to keywords, listening to my clients, listening to trending topics. But this idea of social listening is relatively new for a lot of brands, both big and small. Are you seeing many of your clients look at social listening for support, for service, insights, and more?
We are. So social, and I think especially on the marketing front and everything, social media and listening to social has been big for a while, but people thinking of it as an engagement channel, it really has evolved beyond somewhere to publish your thoughts, to somewhere to engage and take action and better understand what your customers are thinking. And we're seeing a lot of companies not only listen on social, but they're finding ways to take what's happening on social and quickly transition that into an active engagement where they can solve that customer's problems. So if you think about Facebook Messenger, we
Mm.
have a lot of companies very effectively engaging with their clients on Messenger, understanding and interacting with them and quickly helping them out. And people are already in Facebook or in Instagram or in LinkedIn, different channels.
Mhm.
They're already in those channels, and you're just giving them a very easy way to transition into an active engagement using similar channels or the same one.
Yeah, and as a data company, how do you support those clients of yours looking at all these channels all the time? It's almost overwhelming, both the amount of real time interaction required, the amount of data, the amount of communication. I imagine that's part of the Verint magic is helping with that.
Data is a huge part of our strategy, and it's something we spend a ton of time talking with our clients about because most people have customer engagement data in a lot of different silos. They add a channel, they add a silo, and that's what we encourage them not to do. And so spending the time with them to understand, how do you connect those silos so that you can leverage the data across channels and get a better understanding of the engagements that are happening, but also working with them to find the tools and tech that they need to make use of the data in the moment. Because a lot of times, if they're dependent on surveys or feedback, they're gathering data but not quickly taking action. So we're finding a lot of clients asking, how do I use data that I'm getting in the moment to improve the interaction as it happens and in real time? And a lot of companies are finding that that's kind of their path forward. It's not waiting to aggregate and understand data after the fact. They're using it in the moment.
In the moment, indeed. And, I come from partially a contact center, call center background on the tech side, and a lot of your customers, of course, are there as well. Um, how hard is it to overcome the legacy, the technical debt, the antiquated systems that are out there? We talk about this bleeding edge of social and data science,
Yeah.
but then again, we pick up the phone and call a contact center and it's terrible. So how do you bridge the gap between, what we want to help clients, do and see versus where some of them are stuck, in the 1980s. We're not going to name names, not going to name and shame, but we all know
There
those
you
companies. We
go.
know who you are.
I've made a few calls this holiday season on some purchases, so I get it. Yeah. So what we're seeing that there's so much to change and so many possibilities that painting the picture of the vision of what it could and should be is great, but clients want a roadmap. They want to
Hmm.
know, just give me step 1, 2, and 3 to improve certain aspects of the engagement. Then I'll move on to the next step. So it might just be that we've got the contact center down, but they want to add a digital channel, and maybe they start with 1 or 2, like a messaging channel,
Hmm.
and then they can move from there. But it's taking it in steps versus you're just not going to all of a sudden have this amazing integrated every channel on the planet working together. But people are knocking it off one by one, and they are using new channels. And what they're finding too, what we saw over the last year, the difficulty in hiring. So it's even harder to staff those contact centers. But if you start putting in those digital channels, not only do people tend to like it better because it's a channel they're familiar with, but also your staffing is a little bit easier. You can handle multiple conversations at once. It's better all around.
Yeah, those poor agents are often under-equipped, undermanaged, underskilled. I mean, that's a part of what Verint does as well, is really empowering that workforce. How's it going? What's the sort of state of the best practices out there?
It's good. What you said it really well. The agent is really under a lot of pressure
Mm,
because some people have put in digital channels. Those easier, simpler solutions are largely handled by a bot, or inside a channel. They're fully contained. And so what gets to that agent and escalated to that agent is harder. And there, 2 things we're working with clients on right now is, one, when it gets to your agent, they know the background. So you want to have it connected so that they see what's already happened. Because the worst thing, a consumer's explained everything to that bot, and then they get handed over to an agent, and the agent wants to start from square one. So
mm,
sharing the knowledge of the engagement with the agent is important. And then knowledge is really a key thing. Having consistent knowledge that's used across the different channels, both with bots, but also with agents, and serving that knowledge to them. So when you're in that call and I'm asking for an extension on my credit limit because I've hit it right with the holiday shopping, um, then they have to go, and you could serve up that knowledge right away. We, our more sophisticated clients, listen to that call, know someone said something about a credit limit, serve up that information about, here's the client, here's their current credit limit, here's what we could offer up, here's what you could do to help them. So you don't want to put them on hold and go search for that. It needs to be served up in the desktop right away.
Absolutely. You mentioned bots. Traditionally, some of the chatbot implementations have gotten a bad rap, deservedly so. We've seen a lot of bad bots and bad IVRs in the past. And just this week, ChatGPT is really wakening up people's idea of what a chatbot can do. And of course, you've been developing amazing chatbot technology internally that's been helping customers in hospitality and airlines and all kinds
Yeah.
of industries. It looks like just bots are getting real. It's no longer a way to avoid having to speak with an agent. They're delivering real value and real service to customers, right?
They need to, right? And they are. I think we were talking with like it's amazing the amount of, I'll say, power and what the experience of your brand that you're putting into a bot, right? Like a lot of people that's their first impression of your company.
Hmm.
And they either get frustrated or are really happy at the end of that experience. And so we are seeing people put them in. And I think originally people were like, well, let's just deflect to a bot, or well, let's see what the bot can do. And now it's like people are realizing the power with AI, with the right knowledge bases, really understanding intent and things. You're able to take care of some more complex issues and help people out inside a bot. And then if you can't do it in the bot, escalate it really seamlessly. But I think people rushed to put bots in maybe with the
Mm.
pandemic when they hadn't had an opportunity to really thoughtfully put them in. Now they're recognizing there's definitely a lot that a bot could do, and they're spending the time and making the investment to really power a great bot, which can be really helpful to the experience.
Yeah, no, great bots are really handy for those many mundane tasks that exist, constantly
Yeah.
forgetting passwords. So, there are
Yeah.
many very useful examples of bots. Um, so you work with so many customers in this industry. You've seen it all at Verint. For companies who aren't at that cutting edge, how do they implement social listening? How do they catch up with best practices? What would that roadmap look like?
Yeah, I think starting with the listing is a great thing because you get an understanding of how your customers that you're trying to serve are using different channels. So understand, are they on social? Are they on um where are they on your website? Like what's their preferred channel? And then devising a strategy that will help you meet them at the channel of their choice. It may be social, it may be the IVR, it may be the website, lots of options to do that. But I think first understanding where your customers want to interact with you, and then working a very focused strategy to tackle those channels in a thoughtful way.
That's awesome. Anything worth sharing on the tech side? I mean, we talked a lot about the customers and CX, but you are a tech company. I think probably the vast majority of your employees are engineers, developers, and testers and techies out there. What's it like working with so many engineers and geeks like myself? I imagine it's like herding cats sometimes. You just.
It, yeah, it's great. I can't say anything disparaging, right? I started as a coder. So,
Oh, you did? Okay, all right. Okay.
oh yeah, absolutely. That was the rule in our house. You couldn't sit down at a computer unless you coded the game. So I love being surrounded by so many kind of innovative tech minds. It's been really fun, and I think it's cool to work in a space what we're seeing, and we're about to launch a hackathon internally, which we're really excited about.
Oh,
Just
nice.
yeah, finding just keeping that innovation flowing because you never know where it's going to come from about how do we make it better? And Barron's been around for 20 plus years. But one of the things that I love about Verint, we're founder led, our
Hmm.
CEO, and it keeps a real entrepreneurial spirit and hear about how we tackle the issues, staying close to the customer and pushing things forward.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I was checking out your website and I noticed you have an upcoming event. I say upcoming, it's June, but the way time flies these days, June is like around the corner. At least it
It does
feels like.
agree. Yeah, we got everyone together for a live event this past June. It was awesome. So we're going to do the same this coming June. We'll be in Las Vegas at the Bellagio. And
Mm.
it's just a great time. You bring together 1,000 or more CX customer engagement professionals. It's a lot of peer-led discussions from our customers, and we hope to see everyone there.
Yeah, I've had so much fun going back to events this fall after, the hiatus that we've all experienced. I'm curious, as a marketing leader, any tips for putting on compelling events? Like there are so many competitive events or overlapping events. Why should folks attend to engage and sort of what's in it for them versus all the alternative events that are out there?
Yeah, there are so many good ones. Engage. What I love about it is that it's so much of the session. So many of the sessions are led by the practitioner, by CX leaders, by people
Mm.
that are in the field
Oh, wow.
making these systems work. So I think close to half of our sessions are driven by people, our customers who are making the change happen in their organizations. And I think that's really critical. So you're hearing from, Fortune 100 companies about how they're driving customer experience and engagement, and you're able to learn from them. We've got all our Verint experts there too, which is great, but I love hearing from the customers, and I think that does set it apart.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I will certainly pencil that in.
Awesome.
And
That's great.
yeah, and what are you most excited about for the holidays? Are you an in-person shopper or do you do the e-commerce the thing like I do? Let's get stuff delivered through Amazon or your favorite retailer.
I have a lot of boxes. In fact, before we started this, I put a note on my doorbell that said, please don't ring the doorbell. So, yeah, I'm definitely an e-commerce shopper.
Awesome. Well, look, have a great holiday and look forward to New Year and more updates from Verint.
Sounds great. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Take care, everyone.